Holy fuck. I am so exhausted. Is everybody still here? I very well hope so. Wrestlemania Saturday was absolutely crazy. And now we head into Wrestlemania Sunday with a new sin count ready to go. At least Night 1 had the audacity of showing a great overhead shot of Lincoln Financial Field upon starting the event. Meanwhile, Night 2 is just going to show us the big CGI logo and block our view of the amazing crowd. Shame too, because the weather's much better tonight.
No one has seen Cody Rhodes all day.
Are we positive Cody Rhodes hasn't been attacked by yet another member of the Bloodline who we haven't heard from up until now? Someone might want to check on him. You know what's honestly sad about this scene? When Iyo Sky first became the WWE Women's Champion, all the attention was still on Bayley because she was the leader of Damage Control. And now a majority of the attention has been on Dakota Kai ever since she practically took over as the new leader. Bottom line, Iyo Sky shouldn't be second in the group if she's the top champion on SmackDown. And yet, she is.
It's not so chilly in Philly.
Haha, fuck you. And I swear we better not get any more cringe puns tonight. That would not be great.
Welcome to Wrestlemania.
Which means, just like last night, it is pointless to begin the video package that welcomes everyone to WrestleMania because Michael Cole just did it all within 1 minute. Second night in a row, still no opening pyrotechnics? It looks to me like WWE potentially stopped using pyro in the openings of WrestleMania ever since Cody Rhodes came back because he cost them so much money. Anyone ever notice that? Also, considering Cody Rhodes competes in both main events of each night, I guess it's fair to assume WWE is filing for bankruptcy as a result of utilizing all those pyrotechnics and fireworks for the American Nightmare. Damn, Cody had a plan the whole time. Crazy Def Rebel remixes have been a weird trend on social media recently, but damn, Stephanie McMahon's remix actually doesn't sound half bad. And also, it's just so damn good to see Stephanie McMahon after we believe we'd never see her involved with WWE again. Even if this is a one-off appearance, it's still a great moment at WrestleMania. So last night we had Triple H welcome us all to WrestleMania 40, and now tonight we have Stephanie McMahon doing the honors. It just goes to show that the authority still remains within the WWE even in the hidden shadows. The authority at WrestleMania once again. You love to see it.
It's a little bit warmer out here.
And yet the fans still complain about the weather being too cold even if it's warmer tonight. That's just how the IWC operates, sadly.
We're a part of every single WrestleMania.
But didn't you leave the company last year, thus were not part of WrestleMania 39 in any sort of capacity? Just curious here.
Are you ready?
Yikes, Triple H. It looks like D-Generation X may want to use Stephanie McMahon as the one who asked that question now. She actually nailed that better than Hunter did. Ouch.
Killed it. Killed it.
Pat McAfee is funny most of the time, but this was a poor attempt at a pun. While trying to praise Stephanie's welcome to WrestleMania, Pat said killed it before repeating it with kilt it. And let's be honest, we don't need the puns in the first place, let alone during a great entrance for Drew McIntyre.
Sacrilege. Who is that voice?
The commentators once again talking over a live performance for a superstar's entrance. I get that CM Punk has his issues with Drew McIntyre, but can y'all wait until Drew's actual music starts playing or something and show respect to these performers? Drew McIntyre walking amongst the pipes and drums band and then through the hallway of swords held up by Highlanders made for an amazing entrance for someone who was long overdue to get a World Heavyweight Championship win in front of a crowd at WrestleMania. This whole entrance screams, this has gone on too long, it is time. Obviously, we don't want to burn off Drew McIntyre's face, but if he's going to use the corners for pyrotechnics, then why not have him stand in the middle of the ring so that all four corners can explode? Guessing we don't want him to be too much like Kane? Damn, CM Punk couldn't even get an on-screen entrance when the show went on the air for his first WrestleMania appearance in 11 years. Sure, he's not wrestling tonight, but if he's being a guest commentator for just this one match, would it kill you to have him actually make an entrance for the world to see?
This guy's got a pipe bam. I got a pipe bomb.
And go back to hating that word, actually. Just when you think Seth Rollins couldn't get any goofier with his crazy entrances, he proves us all wrong. Hell, it doesn't even feel like we just saw him yesterday in that epic tag team match at all. Fucking love this entrance.
It actually reminds me of the guy from NXT.
Michael Cole just referenced No Way Jose as the guy from NXT. This is the Paul Levesque era. I'm pretty sure we're allowed to mention those who are no longer with WWE now.
WrestleMania. Oh! And Rollins kicks it!
Even though Seth Rollins kicked out of the Claymore kick from out of nowhere, you can't help but feel that could have finished him off because of how much damage Seth went through the previous night. Plus, it wouldn't be the first time in WrestleMania history that the opening World Heavyweight Championship match ended out of nowhere at the start. Also, the sound of the audience groaning and gasping when Seth Rollins kicked out at 2 was amazing. Literally everyone in that entire stadium thought it was over. We just started the first match of WrestleMania Sunday and it's already freaking amazing.
Play by Drew McIntyre.
Seth Rollins realized that this was starting to become the main event of WrestleMania 36 Sunday and quickly escaped to last just a little bit longer than that other guy did.
On the showcase of the...
Let's be thankful that The Rock isn't out here to change the rules of the match again, otherwise he definitely would have called the match as a submission when Seth Rollins tapped on the ground outside. Could you imagine? Brutal move, but Seth Rollins mostly flipped forward on his own accord. The way Drew McIntyre threw him in the air, there is no logical way Seth would have flipped like he was Ricochet on a daily basis. Also, considering Seth is dealing with a legitimate torn meniscus, why would he risk further damage to his leg by flipping in the air like that and landing right on it? Does he want to be out for more than a year at this point? I hope not, he's been one of the best wrestlers around here. The fact that Drew McIntyre tweeted in the middle of his World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania thanks to his wife is funny as hell. Is this the first time I actually removed a sin for something involving the former Twitter? More WrestleMania history, I guess.
You saw McIntyre's taking the selfie a moment ago.
Drew McIntyre was obviously typing because he wasn't posing or making a crazy face for a brief moment. Drew McIntyre is wasting precious time taunting CM Punk and asking him if he recognizes the Future Shock DDT, which allows Seth Rollins to counter and cost him. The only thing this is going to do is humiliate Drew even further when CM laughs at him.
Went for the Future Shock.
Ha 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 ha! What, you thought the CM I was referring to was Punk? Hell no, I was talking about me laughing at Drew.
Punk looking for a pedigree.
I really hate to say this, but Seth Rollins is an idiot for hitting a pedigree on the floor like that. Dedication is one thing, but stupidity is another. And that was a very stupid thing for Seth to do given his current circumstances.
Rollins together right now is like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound.
Not gonna lie, CM Punk was spot on with that metaphor describing Seth Rollins' injury situation. Nice analogy by Punk.
Back. Whoa. He connects it to...
Seth Rollins managed to find a creative way to connect a curb stomp on Drew McIntyre even despite his bad injury. Gotta give him props for that one. Another sin taken off. Seth Rollins grabbing Drew McIntyre's ass.
With the Irish, Scottish.
CM Punk mixing up the Scottish from the Irish. I was about to ask if he had one too many to drink before remembering that he's straight edge. As far as I know.
Went for the Claymore. Rollins caught him and
And now Drew McIntyre absolutely regrets constantly doing the 3-second countdown for the Claymore kick. As a heel, he probably should not be getting the fans to chant with him because bad guys are supposed to hate the fans.
set them up for a pedigree.
When you see Seth Rollins keep his injured knee in the air after hitting the second pedigree, you can't help but feel bad for him. He's wrestled through so much pain in the last 24 hours and still continues to put on a great show. So much respect.
Stop the leg. McIntyre.
This is the one example of finishers being kicked out of done right. Because Seth Rollins was hurt, he could not get the full velocity needed in the curb stomp, which allowed Drew McIntyre to be momentarily stunned, but not enough to stay down for the 3 count. Finishers should rarely be kicked out of in any given situation, unless it's moments like this, or the fans feeling like all hope is lost before the epic kickout.
McIntyre's in trouble. Went for the Rollins avoiding disaster. McIntyre.
That series of counters was an amazing sequence of the match. Seth tries to hit a super curb stomp from the top rope, Drew moves out of the way and tries for another Claymore kick, which Seth moves out of the way from. Seth tries to hit a curb stomp once again, and gets caught into the Future Shock DDT. Major props to both these wrestlers for putting on an intense World Heavyweight Championship match that lasted only 10 minutes, but those were a great 10 minutes.
Well, he needs to focus right now. He's looking at me.
CM Punk, welcome back to WWE, but for your sake, don't start taking my job. There's only one CM who should be doing the sins of WWE here.
Right.
Not gonna lie, CM Punk's sarcasm to Drew McIntyre while the latter is tearing apart the announce table is funny to listen to. I'm glad Punk was able to at least participate in some capacity at WrestleMania 40 after he couldn't wrestle in the ring.
Hey, stop.
Man, just listening to the way Drew's face bounced off the announce table from that curb stomp was brutal. You can literally feel the pain from both wrestlers. Drew from the head and Seth from the knee. What an opening match.
And he can't pin the man on the floor.
That's true, but Seth Rollins does have the champion's advantage here, since Drew McIntyre can only win the title by pinfall or submission. Obviously, Seth is not going to do that, but the fear of losing the title shouldn't be that high while they're on the outside.
Seth Rollins. Oh! And a kick out.
Okay, the first 2 kickouts from the Claymore kick was understandable, but now we're reaching overdone territory here. The more Seth keeps kicking out of Drew's finisher, the weaker it looks. The fact that Seth Rollins literally yelled at Drew McIntyre to kill him before the final Claymore kick was connected made the moment even more bone-chilling. Seth knows he's done for and demands that his opponent kills him on the spot, defiant until the end. Seth freaking Rollins. Also, heel or not, you can't help but feel emotional for Drew McIntyre. The guy had a WrestleMania moment in front of a packed stadium taken away from him 4 years ago due to COVID-19. He carried the company through the pandemic, and even if it doesn't last that long, Drew still got the moment he always wanted. Better to get the moment and then lose it than to never get it at all.
But he beat a compromised man.
Oh, shut your fucking mouth! Man, you can't help but smile at Seth Rollins breaking character and crying for Drew McIntyre's deserved win. That was a fantastic WrestleMania moment. Drew McIntyre finally got his moment, and then he chose to ruin it himself by taunting CM Punk over and over until the latter finally attacked him. If only he celebrated with the people that matter to him the most, he'd still be WWE World Heavyweight Champion right now. Also, if he really wanted to taunt CM Punk, Drew should have went back into the ring, climbed to the top rope, yelled to CM Punk that he's where Punk is not, and then lift the championship high above his head for everyone to see. That would have been the best taunt.
Wait a minute. Oh my God!
Drew McIntyre sadly deserved that, and deserved the cash-in by Damian Priest coming up as well. Should have just walked back up the ramp, you moron. It doesn't have the same impact compared to kissing Vince McMahon goodbye as he left the company 13 years ago. Doesn't Damian Priest have his own entrance theme even as part of the Judgment Day? Why is he entering to this Staples music when it's just Damian by himself? WrestleMania is once again about proving everyone wrong. I remember throughout the build to this event, everyone complained about Damian Priest more than likely cashing in and losing, or becoming the first Mr. Money in the Bank to last the entire year duration without cashing in. And then Damian becomes the second guy to successfully cash in at WrestleMania itself. See what happens when you let things play out, folks? You get rewarded. Think optimistically.
Holy shit!
I waited for Pat McAfee to repeat "say it" like he did at SummerSlam in 2021 when Michael Cole almost said "holy shit." But to hear Pat actually say shit is like a full circle moment. Who would have thought a minor full circle moment would be a great one? It doesn't last long for Rhea Ripley, but to see both her and Damian Priest with their respective world championships on the WrestleMania stage made for an epic moment with the Judgment Day. Once again, we're only just starting and it's already exciting. Sure, there's quite a few cool moments that happened with this match, but it had to be as a result of bringing in Bubba Ray Dudley instead of letting both the Pride and the Final Testament naturally have their moment at WrestleMania. A lot of that due to the feud being absolute lackluster throughout the last few months. It's just random beatdowns and no reason why it's happening. Snoop Dogg is legendary without a doubt, and I hope y'all don't take this personally, but I think he was one of the most annoying commentators ever due to repeating almost the same things over and over, which once again did not help the match's chances of being anything but lackluster.
CM Punk joining us on commentary.
That's strange, because I don't see CM Punk out there at all. Did he achieve John Cena powers or something? Despite Bubba Ray Dudley taking over every great moment, it is still good to see him again in WWE. Philadelphia, so we gotta have an ECW reference somewhere.
Authority.
Haha, Bubba Ray Dudley missed the bottom rope. We've all seen that one entrance where someone slips on the ropes, right, Batista? Boy, you can't help but feel bad for Karrion Kross. Doesn't matter who's in creative control, he's always on the receiving end of the fails. Poor NXT Championship reign, failed run on the main roster, released, returned, second fail on the main roster, and now he created a new stable that's on the receiving end of Dudley Boy's nostalgia.
This group's the real deal.
I think Michael Cole meant to say this group should be the real deal, yet sadly, they are not even close to a deal. On a regular edition of SmackDown, Bobby Lashley has pyro explode for that pose moment, but when we're on the biggest stage of them all, no pyro whatsoever. What really sucks is WWE cut down on the amount of pyro for this event, and when it's WrestleMania, that's going the wrong way.
Here we go.
Not gonna lie, it was funny when Bubba Ray Dudley yelled ding 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 instead of ring the bell when he started the match. Sucks that the street fight is nothing but a comedy fest for ECW nostalgia, but that was still funny.
Oh no. Oh, watch him.
Ouch, I literally shuddered in pain when Bobby Lashley was dropped onto the standing chair like that. Okay, maybe not so much of a comedy fest just yet, but we all know it's coming. I know it's a street fight, but what was the point of B-Fab getting involved when she's not even in the match, nor was Scarlett trying to start anything?
There you go, help out, baby. B-Fab. Watch your back. That was trash.
So was your pun, Snoop Dogg. And also, Snoop Dogg is perfectly fine with B-Fab interfering, but has a problem with Scarlett giving B-Fab her rightful comeuppance for getting involved in the first place.
Lashley. Watch yourself.
The very poor and horrible way the Hurricane Rana was executed from Angelo Dawkins on Razor. May want to stick to the powerhouse moves and leave the high-flying maneuvers to Montez Ford.
Oh, how the turntables, huh?
Fuck you.
Oh, watch out! Oh!
Amazing dive, but at the same time, dangerous because Montez Ford nearly shattered his legs in the process.
You gotta watch your back.
I don't know for sure, but I think Snoop Dogg has repeated "watch your back" like 20 times in the last 5 minutes. Part of why his commentary was very annoying, because it's always repeating the same things over and over and over. I don't know if it was 20 times, but I'm still throwing in 20 sins. Don't kill me now.
Get your lesson.
Winner up WrestleMania 40 Sunday to bring you WrestleMania 35, because the audience are chanting "turn the lights off," and considering WWE dimmed the lights for the majority of last night, I'm actually shocked they decided to beam the bright spotlights on the crowd.
Bubba Ray.
And then Angelo Dawkins runs out of the ring, finds an unconscious B-Fab, and shoves her too. Great callback, but it doesn't really sound the same when several tables have already been broken in the last few minutes of the match. Bubba Ray Dudley is definitely regretting not having Devon Dudley out here after that just happened.
Let's take a look back at the main event last night.
Can that not wait until we get to the actual main event of tonight, considering that's the only match relevant to last night's main event? What does Logan Paul doing push-ups have to do with the Bloodline defeating Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes last night?
Paul.
I'm surprised Paul Heyman wasn't scared shitless at the appearance of Kayla Braxton, considering that's always been the case in the past.
Last night, after Roman Reigns.
Paul Heyman has a point. How does answering a question about Roman Reigns qualify as celebrating a Hall of Fame induction from last night?
Book page 87, subsection D, paragraph. Bloodline rules, Kayla, are anything that are determined by the tribal chief, the final boss.
If that is the case, then technically that means they determine who can get involved in the match and who can't, which raises a lot of questions about why none of them took charge of the rules when Roman's victims showed up Avengers style later on.
One fall to an absolutely positive.
Absolutely. I have no idea what that word is supposed to mean, but I can tell you right now that I am absolutely going to give that word a sin.
The other man goes home to his wife, Brandy.
Roman Reigns' wife is also Brandy Rhodes, apparently. Boy, that's got to be an awkward Thanksgiving when the season comes along. Given WWE's history of vehicular destruction, I'm surprised the Slim Jim car hasn't been destroyed by any of LA Knight's rivals by this point. Also, it takes nearly 15 minutes worth of commercials and backstage interviews before we actually get to the next match. They're really starting to expand the time frame longer than usual.
This is the biggest match of LA Knight's career.
Considering the fact that a few months ago, LA Knight was literally in a main event against Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship, I highly doubt this singles match with AJ Styles is the biggest match of his career. Sure, it's his first WrestleMania, but the match itself is still not on that level. Plot twist, LA Knight hands over the keys to the Slim Jim car because he already has so many parking and speeding tickets and chose to transfer all of that to the winner at ringside.
GTR, she's right away.
This asshole might be enjoying Slim Jims a little too much here. We may be going away from the PG rating, but we're not exactly in that rating either. When I first found out that AJ Styles changed his theme song, I had my concern because of how much Def Rebel sucks. But hey, this new theme for AJ isn't that bad. I'm still gonna send it because his old theme was way better, but that doesn't mean this one is bad.
Alright, here we go.
Because Samantha didn't have time to fully introduce AJ Styles, he is officially known as the Phenomenal for the night.
AJ Styles.
The Phenomenal should be grateful that this isn't the Royal Rumble match because that almost reached Titus O'Neil levels of comedy.
Gonna fly.
That wasn't flying, that was... actually that wasn't even falling with style, it was a simple baseball slide with some added jumps. And then the Spanish announce table suddenly collapses when LA Knight climbed on it to pose for the audience, which by the way is something he should not be doing when facing off against the Phenomenal. Focus, yeah.
For AJ Styles.
Sure, the referee is telling LA Knight to get back into the ring, but LA is seriously distracted by that? I've seen almost every wrestler ignore the referee and focus instead on their opponents. And this is how the Phenomenal takes control of the match as well.
Team, they provide all the stats.
Who cares?
Two-time WWE champion. LA Knight won a Slammy.
Again, don't care about the stats. However, when you put it like that, it sounds so sad. The Phenomenal is a former two-time WWE champion. Meanwhile, LA Knight won a Slammy Award. Yay.
LA Knight has had the best calendar year.
Really? Let's see what LA Knight has done since WrestleMania 39. Said a couple of cool promos, has a yeah catchphrase, won a Battle Royal and faced Roman Reigns. Alright, gotta admit, that's a fun year, but nowhere near the best calendar year out of the WWE roster.
This has become so...
More turn the lights off chants from the crowd. What do you bet the Phenomenal is getting flashbacks to his match with Randy Orton 5 years ago at WrestleMania that nobody really saw due to being blinded by the spotlights? Also, second match in a row where the fans let their issues be heard and still WWE didn't do a thing about it. I guess not even Triple H cares that the fans are blinded by the light on the weekend. Wait, what?
LA Knight came in, stepped over his spot.
The Phenomenal is mad because LA Knight teamed with John Cena that one time after he got injured. What was John supposed to do? Fight the Bloodline by himself?
Match of his career.
Picture perfect tornado DDT from LA Knight. The Phenomenal did an excellent job on his end as well. Things are picking up very good in this match.
First WrestleMania match for LA Knight.
And that's the 5th time we've mentioned that fact. Since we're at WrestleMania 40, we're going to say that 35 more times before the match is over.
Styles taking his time.
The Phenomenal making the huge mistake of being distracted by the fans chanting "turn the lights off," which allowed LA Knight to take advantage. Guess we're even since LA got stupidly distracted by a referee's instruction one time too. Careful LA, Sheamus is on his way back soon and he might go after you for doing that move, since that seems to be a trend of LA's opponents getting mad at him for small reasons.
Corey has this.
Hair cravings. Also biting.
That's gonna cost him a couple bucks.
I would have taken several sins off the counter if LA Knight yelled "yeah" and then started spitting the Phenomenal's hair in disgust due to biting a large chunk of it. That would have been hilarious. That was an amazing moment indeed to see the Phenomenal do a full backflip from the German suplex off the top rope, which was executed perfectly. You love to see it.
Styles really tore.
This is a good match, but the fans unfortunately can't tell due to being bothered by the beaming spotlights. Do these spotlights not come with a dimming feature on it? Why do they have to be so fucking bright?
Around the post that has a meat stick on it.
Sure, the colors of Slim Jim is on the ring post, but the actual meat stick itself in the packaging is not on it. So what meat stick are we— wait a minute, Pat, are you getting kinky again? With how much damage LA Knight has suffered in the legs, there is no way he could have yanked the Phenomenal into the ring post like that. Plus his leg slipped out of the Phenomenal's grasp before the latter could actually run into the post. So that kinda made it worse. LA Knight had his knee targeted for a large portion of the match and was struggling to stand less than 10 seconds ago. But all of a sudden, he could stomp on the Phenomenal's midsection without so much as wincing in pain? No selling is always a sin.
Family.
Okay, it's understandable that the Phenomenal countered with a back body drop, but once again, LA Knight forgot that he has a knee injury he's supposed to be selling.
450 incoming. No.
That counter was perfectly done by both wrestlers. The Phenomenal really knows how to sell it when the knees come up to counter his 450 splash. That was awesome.
Gonna give him more damage.
Wow, LA Knight hit that kick perfectly to get out of the Styles Clash. That was one of the most creative ways to get out of that move for sure. Here's how you know the Phenomenal is not going to connect with the Phenomenal forearm. LA Knight is way too close to his side of the ring instead of further away. Plus, LA is near the ropes, so the Phenomenal wouldn't have much room, if any, to connect the move in the first place.
Gonna do it. Blood force.
Before LA Knight actually wins the match, you can hear the crowd cheering in celebration. Did the spotlights finally turn off at the precise moment LA won the match right after they stayed on throughout the whole thing? If so, the production team are dicks. Here's to hoping that WWE doesn't cancel King and Queen of the Ring once again like they did last year for reasons we still don't know.
I'm looking forward to getting over there. He's going. We're not sure. That is not.
Pat McAfee announces his excitement for going to Saudi Arabia, then says he doesn't know if he's going. If you don't know if you're going to Saudi Arabia, then why express your excitement in the first place, man? Paul Heyman walks out as the leader of the WWE Hall of Fame class carrying the Universal Championship. Does this mean the whole damn time Roman Reigns was the dominant champion, he was just the wrestling representative for the real champion, Paul Heyman? Biggest plot twist in WWE history when you look at that. Damn. Logan Paul may not be liked by many, but I can't say he hasn't earned everything he's got. He literally shows how much passion and dedication he has to the WWE and pretty much any other venture he does. At this point, anyone who says otherwise is just in personal denial. Damn, the reception over there at Lincoln Financial Field must suck if we're getting crappy pixels on the live stream. Even Logan Paul's live stream at Crown Jewel in 2022 had better quality than this.
Is that the biggest truck you've ever seen?
Not even freaking close. Pat McAfee looks at this Prime truck and automatically believes it's the biggest truck ever when things like semi-trucks and monster trucks literally exist.
I've ever seen.
And then it turns out the Prime cannon was actually loaded with real cannons and it destroys the WrestleMania set. Whoopsie. After what went down last year with KSI and the Prime bottle costume, I'm actually surprised anybody wanted to show up in the outfit a year later. I Show Speed is in the Prime bottle costume this time around and he's already flirting with the ladies at ringside.
I think Logan should rename the city Primadelphia.
That was a horrible attempt at a Prime pun, Corey. So bad I'm giving it a double sin. Can we not give cringe puns all the time here?
Your turn now.
Why do I got the feeling this is going to lead to Kevin Owens once again betraying Sami Zayn for the 100th time because Sami got a championship victory at WrestleMania 40 and he didn't? I swear, if I predict the future once again. What do you bet the cameraman stayed further away from following Kevin Owens because when he followed Sami Zayn last night, it caused the camera to lose the connection on the live feed. Kevin Owens' shirt says KO Mania 7 despite the fact that this is his 8th WrestleMania. Sure, he labeled last year as WrestleZania because of teaming with Sami Zayn, but that's still qualified as KO Mania 7, and this should be KO Mania 8.
Drew McIntyre won the world.
Why are we reminiscing about Drew McIntyre's World Heavyweight Championship win and loss from earlier tonight when that's got nothing to do with Kevin Owens walking away to get a golf cart? What does that got to do with anything? Plot twist, Kevin Owens intended to back his golf cart right into Randy Orton and take him out of the match so he can have Logan Paul all to himself, but chose to give Randy a ride because he noticed the Viper was watching him intently. I'd be lying if I said I didn't find this entrance hilarious and entertaining. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton may be opponents, but that quick ride to the ring was awesome. Plus, I think WWE is once again trying to stop me from saying certain sins of their events by quickly getting Randy to the ring, thus I can't throw in a sin for over 10 minutes of entrances for 3 competitors. Well fucking played.
Boy, Bob Orton was it.
Logan Paul, on the other hand, wants Christian Maracle to continue reciting the legendary sins and cliches of WWE. Wish granted for the heel champion slips out of the ring at the start of a triple threat match cliche. Although, based on everything these guys have been through the last few months, Logan Paul should know by now that Randy Orton and Kevin Owens will turn their attention to him even when he slips out of the ring at the start of the match. It's kinda how it works here. I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens and Randy Orton saw how WrestleMania 39 went down with KSI being inside the Prime bottle costume. Truthfully, I thought the first thing they do is attack whoever's in the costume this year just to make sure it's not another trick.
This is the. I have a feeling.
Son of a bitch! Kevin Owens knew that I would send him for copyright infringement if he delivered Randy Orton's back suplex onto the announce table. So he asked Randy's permission first, and it was granted. You clever bastard.
Now they're mean.
Not gonna lie though, Randy Orton showing Kevin Owens how to properly hit his back suplex onto the announce table while they constantly use Logan Paul as the pawn was one of the funniest moments of the match. I'm having such a great time tonight, even despite being countered by WWE themselves. A lot of the early part of this United States Championship match is Randy Orton teaching Kevin Owens how to perform his signature maneuvers like this is a training class. And wow, it's actually working because it's so funny to watch. Logan Paul got both his ankles stomped in, yet he clutches his upper leg in pain, which did not get hit whatsoever.
Cover now by.
Given how friendly Kevin Owens and Randy Orton have been to each other, I'm surprised they didn't try to go for the double pin regardless and see about becoming co-United States champions. Would that even work though?
Oh! What were they after? The inevitable.
Randy tries to hit the RKO on Kevin, and that innocent look on his face afterward is so priceless. The comedy in this match is so much fun, especially when you know these guys are inevitably going to fight each other any minute now. Given Randy Orton's history of striking when his opponents least expect it, it's hard to tell if the audience is chanting "you fucked up" to Randy for trying to strike, or Kevin Owens for trusting the Apex Predator in the first place.
Double.
Because Logan Paul was late on his cue to connect the double buckshot lariat, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens were standing around looking like idiots. Also, the poor way Randy Orton took Logan's lariat adds another sin because he didn't fall at the right time he should have.
All of a sudden in control of his own champ. May not like.
Obviously, Logan Paul was going for a Randy Orton style pose, but given the way he shook his body and bent over before shooting up to the sky, it looks more like he impersonated Adam Cole. Baby, gosh darn it, don't start that again!
A double cannonball.
Would you really call that a double cannonball considering only Logan Paul got hit while Randy Orton was missed entirely? Even when Logan fell back, he still didn't collide with Randy.
It's on the top rope, delivers his own swanton.
Clever move on the part of Logan Paul to hit a swanton bomb on Kevin Owens followed by a standing frog splash to Randy Orton. This is a very entertaining match.
This man fought Floyd Mayweather.
As if fighting Floyd Mayweather in his retirement years means anything about facing Randy Orton in a wrestling match.
And after the right here,
If only there wasn't the moment of Logan Paul hesitating to gain his balance, that power slam would have looked even more badass.
desperation seemingly. Oh!
Great shout out to his former best friend Chris Jericho as Kevin Owens hits a code breaker while also hitting his signature senton on Logan Paul simultaneously. That was a cool moment to see for sure.
Oh no, Logan, you know better.
Not gonna lie, my heart skipped a beat when Logan's foot slipped off the rope, but thankfully Kevin Owens managed to turn it into an improvised body slam. Well done on Kevin's part to ensure the safety of his opponents.
Orton's gonna win the title.
Why would you say that? I would have believed that Randy Orton could successfully punt Logan Paul in the head had Logan not been in position in the obvious going to be pulled out of the ring position.
Oh, what a shock.
Michael Cole automatically assuming that Iyo Speed was KSI simply because it's a prime bottle and the situation from last year at WrestleMania 39. I, on the other hand, figured that someone else would have been in the costume because KSI would have been too obvious. He may be stupid in this moment, but Iyo Speed definitely has balls to be cussing at Randy Orton and shoving him over. That or a death wish. Also, just like last night, the guy who's muting the volume absolutely sucks at his job. And like I said before, why bother censoring since this is a premium live event and we're kinda leaving the PG era behind? This is freaking awesome. Randy Orton imitates Iyo Speed's signature barking and then hits a perfect RKO on the table. You gotta love it when these legendary internet celebrities show up just to get their asses kicked. Still awaiting Mr. Beast's eventual arrival. You know it's coming.
Look at the pop-up. RKO!
Was said by coincidence, but that is the perfect way to describe that moment. Randy Orton with a pop-up RKO out of nowhere. Another legendary RKO moment for Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
And their vicious turn.
Didn't really seem like a vicious turn when you think more about it. For all we know, Damage Control was happy with Bayley, who just assumed they turned on her because speaking Japanese amongst yourselves when I don't speak the language automatically means you're being mean to me. And then the group went for the attack for feeling betrayed themselves. Now that I think about it, that would have been far more entertaining than the story we actually got. Although in some cases, I can understand why Damage Control had enough of Bayley. Iyo Sky has been the WWE Women's Champion for over half a year, yet it's felt like she's been taking the back seat while Bayley continues to be the center of attention, and the champion should always be the center of attention no matter who the leader of the group is.
Bayley's down tonight.
Iyo Sky always spoke in her native language to Kairi Sane and Asuka, yet the one time where she chooses to speak English is conveniently when Bayley was within earshot of the conversation and no other non-Japanese person was in the room. I'm only in the room with my fellow Japanese friends. Perfect time to speak English even though that's a little redundant. Iyo Sky honestly had all the correct points here. Out of literally everyone in Damage Control, Bayley was the only one who did not get any sort of success during her tenure with the group. Iyo Sky and Dakota Kai won the women's tag team titles a few times, Iyo won Money in the Bank and then cashed in to become women's champion, Kairi Sane and Asuka won the tag team titles, and prior to Bayley's Royal Rumble win, she had no form of success and took credit.
Were they just using me?
Or were they just frustrated because they were the ones who got actual success while you did not and still was the top form of attention? Now that I think more on it, I'm with Iyo Sky on this one. Nice Egyptian style entrance and costume, just a shame that one of Bayley's wings is broken so she won't be flying to the ring tonight. Also, take a moment and look at those bowing down to Bayley. One of them is going to be WWE Champion at WrestleMania in 10 years. Take your pick on which one it will be.
Bayley, last.
Question, why couldn't Bayley keep her original theme she used throughout her heel run? It's not solidified with Damage Control, and it sounds badass whether she's a heel or babyface. This new theme makes me want her to go back to the heel way.
There's no doubt that I've had my problems with Bayley over the years.
Actually, it's been the other way around. Bayley always had the issues with Michael Cole, and we're still waiting on that WrestleMania clash between them. Let's go!
Iyo Sky has been one of the most underrated.
Because she wasn't given as big a spotlight as Bayley was despite being the women's champion. Alright, I'll stop.
Sending her outside the ring.
The Bayley Will You Be My Girl chant should have honestly ended when the Hugger Days ended because it doesn't have the same feel to it.
Iyo Sky must be pinned or
Yeah, that will show you, Iyo. I just pushed you. Now I am absolutely doing Damage Control here. Okay, that sounded a lot better in my head. What do you want from me? This has been another long-ass video.
Doesn't get any bigger. Dive outside.
Iyo Sky was watching Bayley the entire time and could have easily baited her in with a suicide dive, but chose not to move out of the way for reasons unknown. This was a weird choice of advertisements. Dude Wipes is the sponsor for a match that does not involve any dudes here.
Oh!
Knowing how much Bayley has a history of knee injuries, that dragon screw from Iyo Sky looked devastating, especially when Bayley's knee was stretched out like that. I'll take another sin off of that.
And Iyo Sky now roll through.
Oh! It still amazes me at how smooth Iyo Sky can make that roll through and stomp look. Starting to pick things up in this match. Keep it up.
Bayley. Oh, God.
That was an excellent counter from Bayley. Here I was expecting another crossbody from the barricade by Iyo Sky, and even I got surprised at Bayley turning it around into a power slam like maneuver.
Sky looking to take advantage and put her way out.
How many is that? 4 center movers in a row? These women are pulling out all the stops at WrestleMania, the one event where your very best should be presented. This is a great women's championship match for sure.
Tore an ACL before.
Iyo Sky is the bad guy in this match, yet she expects the crowd to get hyped up when she signals for them. That's what the good guy is supposed to do.
Star who steps inside the ring. It is.
With how many times Bayley and Iyo Sky counter and spin around each other to attempt German suplexes, I am so tempted to place the Spin Me Right Round song here. How long has it been since I did that sequence?
You can ask Seth Rollins about knee injuries.
But what you should not ask Seth Rollins is how to properly sell injuries, because then he has absolutely no answer and changes the subject to something else entirely.
The Bayley chance from the...
Another thing I have to remove a sin for is Bayley's determination to continue the match and climb to the top rope despite the knee injury. You see, this is how you properly sell an injury. Most wrestlers these days just magically heal like nothing happened within seconds.
Over Iyo.
And Bayley takedown by...
Man, these two women know each other so well and know exactly when to counter the other. There are so many great counters throughout this match and it's mind-blowing. I only wish they can do that on the full time with premium live event title matches.
Center of the ring, come on, Bayley!
For one thing, Michael Cole should not be cheering regardless. But even so, he's actually cheering for the woman who still actively taunts him and makes fun of him on social media? At least Bianca Belair didn't immediately have a change of heart just because Bayley became a babyface. Bayley was actually dumb enough to fall for the blatant "I'm sorry and now I'll kick your ass" tactic that's used by pretty much every heel in professional wrestling. After the first apology, I'd immediately say "too late" and strike again with no remorse. Iyo Sky wasn't even trying to go for the cover and Michael Cole declared that she would. Or did he suddenly switch sides and chose to cheer for Iyo upon remembering all the bullying that Bayley put him through the last few years?
More moonsault coming!
Iyo Sky hesitated before connecting her moonsault just so Tiffany Stratton wouldn't start accusing her of stealing the way she normally ascends to the top rope.
Iyo gonna go up the second rope of the... Bayley moved out!
I'm sorry, but no, that was a terrible no-sell from Bayley. She took Iyo Sky's over the moonsault and then immediately took a second one. But all of a sudden she recovered from all of that in less than 15 seconds? That's worth 5 sins. I don't care what dedication she has. She took 2 finishers in a row.
Rose plant! Counter!
Well, holy shit, that was one of the greatest counters to the Rose Plan I have ever seen. The way Iyo Sky flipped through was amazing. I'll give that a double sin remover.
Bayley did it!
Despite the no-sell, one thing I can remove 5 sins for is Bayley achieving an actual championship victory at WrestleMania for the first time in her career. And it happened in the first time she had a one-on-one match at the big event too, might I add. Sure, she's had championship success, but this is the first time she actually won a title at WrestleMania.
Tito's here.
Vanessa Hudgens accidentally spoiled to everyone that John Cena will be making a surprise return tonight.
Say hell yeah!
Snoop Dogg does the honors of having the fans chant hell yeah because the original guy behind it was unable to show up tonight.
145,420!
Well, those last few numbers definitely explain why WWE asked Snoop Dogg to announce the combined 2-night attendance number from the fans, but knowing how much they love to put out false attendance numbers, I'm pretty sure they did that one on purpose. Snoop Dogg said the combined attendance number was 145,420, yet the official graphics state that it's actually 145,298. So why does the paper Snoop is reading from have an extra 122 fans on it? Holy shit, here we go. The fact that we can have that type of reaction to this main event just from seeing that it's up next speaks volumes. The excitement, intensity, and desperation from everyone is absolutely bone-chilling, and that's not just because of the weather. Last year, everyone looked at this as the worst booking decision in a long time. WWE knew immediately that there would be controversy and backlash from the fans and took the risk. It absolutely paid off because there's always a long-term plan for situations like this. As I said last year, that look on Cody Rhodes' face told a much bigger story than him winning the championship so easily ever could. Probably was a bad idea to showcase the Young Bucks or any sort of AEW visual since Tony Khan seemed to have several more WWE related meltdowns. Somehow we just know those shills are going to make this WWE's fault. I'm not going to play the audio to try and avoid the monster, but you can't help but feel the Daniel Bryan vibes from 10 years ago at WrestleMania 30 when WWE used Imagine Dragons for his video package leading into his epic moment. Now we do the same for Cody Rhodes, just a different song. This is awesome to witness.
I am coming for you, Reigns.
This promo package shows exactly what should have happened in that big segment where The Rock replaced Cody Rhodes to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Instead of Cody choosing to not face Roman and willingly giving The Rock his spot, Rock should have interrupted and turned heel on the spot, shocking the whole world and adding more impossible odds to Cody's story. It was instead forced into this thanks to us.
We ain't finishing no story.
Just like I said from the previous Sins video, Michael Cole prematurely declares Cody Rhodes as the loser of this upcoming main event simply because it's bloodline rules. Even at the moment when all hope seems lost, you gotta keep that faith alive. Or be like the majority of the IWC and give up immediately because you're impatient or have no faith.
Story is no longer about myself.
Hasn't that always been the case? From the very first time Cody Rhodes brought up the phrase "finish the story," it's always been about his family and achieving what Dusty Rhodes never could. Now he says that the whole time it was about himself but no longer? That's a very confusing story if you stop and think more about it.
You will never get another shot.
Which automatically translates to Cody Rhodes is obviously winning the match. Don't worry, for those wondering, that's not going to affect what I'm going to do when the moment actually happens. It's just something to take note of. If there's anything to describe Cody Rhodes' entrance, it is cinema. You know we're in for the war of a lifetime when you hear that music and see that awesome mask on Cody's face. It has only begun. The pyrotechnics being off sync from Cody's music at the usual moment it goes off. Come on guys, we're about to be in an epic main event. We don't need any more screw-ups. The one thing I gotta take another sin off for is the commentators actually showing respect by not talking throughout Cody Rhodes' entrance. They're letting the moment sell itself, as they should be. It's what they should have done with the live band performances too. This time Cody Rhodes kisses the part of the ring mat that doesn't have the Prime logo on it just so the Logan Paul haters won't be pissed off 2 nights in a row. Even though they technically already were when Logan won his match.
Of the Tribal Chief!
At this moment, we can forget about The Rock being the final boss, because this entrance of Roman Reigns was the pure definition of being the final boss. The orchestral performance adding into Roman's already epic music made this his greatest entrance of all time as the Tribal Chief. This deserves 10 cents taken off the counter. I am so freaking ready for this.
For 1,003.
As it's another day of Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship, it's also another day of reminding everyone of the only 3 wrestlers who have held a championship longer than him in WWE history. We practically have this entire speech memorized word for word after all this time. Also, you guys were absolutely silent for Cody's entire entrance to let the moment soak in, but when the top champion for over 1,300 days shows up, you can't stop talking at all? That is absolutely stupid and disrespectful if you ask me. But also, Roman Reigns deserves more praise by breaking the all-time record for the most WrestleMania main events in WWE history. This is his 9th, and while some of the matches weren't that good, Roman has been the most consistent main event wrestler of all time, and no one has or ever will forget about that. Like it or hate it, it's the fact we all acknowledge.
31st time Roman Reigns will defend.
It's actually over 50 times, but even that is still sad when you think about it. 1,316 days as the Universal Champion with only 50 plus defenses. By now it definitely should have been 100 at the minimum. Great as he is, that's still a major sin of his championship reign. The cameraman shifted up the camera a little higher due to being close up with a fan flipping the bird to Roman Reigns. That was a hilariously awkward moment. Obviously, what we intend on doing is keeping the Bloodline away from the match for the first 20 minutes, but it's still a little weird that a match labeled under Bloodline rules has no Bloodline at ringside immediately since it's their match and their rules. The fans are excited beyond all recognition. Never before has a main event rematch at WrestleMania felt more intense and personal than this one. Perhaps maybe with the exception of Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, but we're not talking about 2010 here. This is 2024, and this feels more exciting than the first encounter between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. And we're just getting started too.
Roman does the same thing he has been doing.
In other words, non-stop interference from the Bloodline. Except in this case, it's not unfair if the Bloodline interferes at all because it's in the match rules. Understandable that Cody Rhodes wanted to bring the weapons out immediately, but I would have started with something simple like a chair or a kendo stick because bringing the tables out takes time and allowed Roman Reigns to recover and counter.
I completely agree.
Heel champion hates tables and throws them back under the ring but doesn't have a problem with them later on cliche.
Hush this very well. Cody, reversal, Reigns.
Roman Reigns also made a big mistake by taunting the crowd and giving Cody Rhodes time to recover and counter. So I guess we're back on an even playing field here.
Because that is where the pinfall or submission will have to take place.
Unless The Rock comes out and randomly changes the rules of the match to a false count anywhere stipulation. And because it's Bloodline rules, this was actually a missed opportunity for The Rock to abuse his power and change up the match as time went along, to add more deadly pressure and trauma to Cody Rhodes' chances of becoming the Universal Champion. Roman Reigns isn't an obvious I have a weapon that I picked from under the ring position, yet Cody Rhodes somehow doesn't figure that out until it's too late. And Cody's already picked a table from that side of the ring in full view of kendo sticks, so how did he not figure out that Roman retrieved a weapon from under the ring?
Fight with him a few weeks ago.
Just to be on the safe side, Roman Reigns should have swung for Cody's midsection instead of his head, because he waited until Cody was standing and looking right at him. Probably figured Cody would be too stupid to figure out what's going on just like earlier. Never underestimate your opponent because they don't tend to make the same mistake twice, Roman. Even if Roman Reigns did not move out of the way, Cody Rhodes would have missed them because he was clearly aiming for the ring post with a swing like that. What are you, a player in the Phillies?
Non-hydration table.
Well, I didn't even need to ask if Roman Reigns is a fan of Logan Paul, knowing the epic clash they had at Crown Jewel a year and a half ago.
Stank while you're beating his ass.
Roman Reigns then immediately give that fan the 2 punches for flinching.
Feel.
Cody Rhodes is getting back to his feet, so Roman Reigns figures now is the perfect time to put the ones in the air again. If this backfires on Roman Reigns, then I'm going to call him an idiot.
In between and
Roman Reigns is an idiot. This is a weird shot when you look at it. You got Paul Heyman feeling the pain from Roman Reigns taking the suplex onto the production box because of voodoo magic. And then you got Charles Robinson in the background covering his eyes as if that was the most brutal thing he's ever witnessed in the decades he's been a referee. And we all know that's not the case at all.
This is where
Plot twist, Cody Rhodes bent over the barricade because he had to throw up, and now the green shirt guy has more added green to his outfit.
second rope. Down goes rope. Superhuman power.
Cody Rhodes weighs significantly less than that of Roman Reigns, yet Roman catching him and connecting a perfect powerbomb is considered superhuman power. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense here.
This is my company, you little bitch.
Roman Reigns continuing to dominate the match and declaring this is his company while smothering Cody Rhodes into the ropes was awesome. We're all having a great time tonight.
Our tribal chief's talking that shit.
You gotta love it when the commentators are allowed to cuss again. PG era, be gone. This is serious shit.
Punish. Hand right in the face.
Roman Reigns is frustrated because a simple back suplex was not enough to defeat Cody Rhodes. 1,316 days as champion and you're upset that a simple suplex did not finish off your opponent? Out of all your victories, how many of them ended with a back suplex? I'll wait. Nah, it's best I don't wait. This video's already very long.
Perfect place for the bridge. There you go.
For once, this sequence is understandable. Cody's shoulder is clearly off the canvas, but the referee can't see that because he's out of position, forcing Cody to kick out further. You guys are really trying to stop me from sinning, y'all. I gotta commend the efforts, to be honest. I never thought I'd be put in the position I'm in. I'm seriously removing a sin for WWE preventing me from sinning. I guess my story is finishing too. Nah, fuck that!
Right now for Cody.
This is how you know Cody Rhodes is desperate to do whatever it takes to win the WWE Championship. He hardly ever performs a super kick on any occasion, so he pulls it out in this one. Anything he can do, he probably will.
A true heavyweight battle.
I wouldn't go that far, Michael, considering the fact that Cody Rhodes is nowhere near heavyweight status in professional wrestling. Could have used any other word to describe it because heavyweight absolutely was the wrong one. It's a copyright infringement sin, but it's also cool to see Roman Reigns hit Cody Rhodes with his own version of Crossroads. However, because nobody in the bloodline interfered yet, nobody is surprised that this doesn't finish off Cody. Roman Reigns is addicted to Cody's Rhodes. And now we have a copy Reigns infringement, going back to an even playing field just like before. But once again, because no interference has happened yet, there is no reason to worry about Roman Reigns losing just yet.
Superman punch.
Apparently, the Superman punch activates Jey Uso's music. Maybe it's just the way Roman connected it. Accidentally turned on the music. Whoopsie. That one sad moment when a spear off the stage through tables was 100 times more entertaining than the actual match between the Usos last night. But I'd be lying if I said I saw that coming. I was amazed and frightened when Jey Uso hit the spear on Jimmy Uso off the stage through the tables we had no idea were there in the first place. Now all hell has broken loose in this war.
Take that, Roman!
Careful, Michael Cole, or else you will be next, forcing Pat McAfee to leave the announce table and joining the war. You know, on second thought, keep it up actually. Let's get everybody involved as much as possible. Cody Rhodes had to look over both his shoulders because Solo Sikoa was late on arrival with a Samoan spike, similar to last year when Cody had to wait around for a while just for Solo to appear. You had a second attempt at one job and you still failed, Solo. Obviously, we know what actually happens here, but considering what happens in the immediate future, this would have been the perfect opportunity for Solo Sikoa to suddenly turn on Roman Reigns and hit the Samoan spike on the Tribal Chief. John Cena is awesome, but that would have been more shocking in the moment. Damn, even Roman Reigns is annoyed at Solo Sikoa taking charge of the match and giving out orders. He's already trying to be the new Tribal Chief before the current one ever loses. It's almost like it was planned all along. We're never going to have a WrestleMania moment like this ever again in our lifetime. Guaranteed. So enjoy this while we still can. That reaction to John Cena's return was deafening. Holy shit. Solo Sikoa threw himself out of the ring before John Cena could ever connect the clothesline. He's not really good with timing, is he? It's not a big moment without the death of the Spanish announce table. Oh, what a wonderful world we live in. Holy shit indeed! Did we ever think that we'd be seeing yet another face-off with John Cena and The Rock 12 years after their iconic yet false advertised once-in-a-lifetime encounter? Because I sure as hell did not. This is the most overbooked match in WWE history, and it was all done for the right reasons. Another 5 cents taken off the counter. The number is dropping fast, folks. WWE should honestly ban giant cutouts of faces in the crowd because they ruin the moments like this by video bombing. Fucking losers.
Oh my God!
Once again, you gotta respect the dedication from Seth Rollins. At this point, he went through 2 brutal matches within 24 hours and can barely walk. Yet that did not stop him from getting to the ring in Shield gear for one last chance to diss Roman Reigns. It may have failed for him, but it was still a beautiful moment of sacrifice. That one moment when everyone was waiting for glass to shatter, but instead got a noise they never expected, creating a much bigger reaction of shock and excitement. Nobody expected The Undertaker to show up for this moment, not even me. Guess you can't have WrestleMania 40 without the greatest professional wrestler to ever live. And yes, I just said that, what are you gonna do about it?
Holy Christ!
Michael Cole had the best reaction to The Undertaker's sudden arrival. How the fuck else can you react to it? The sight of The Rock and The Undertaker in the ring in 2024 during the main event of WrestleMania 40 is something we'll never forget. Although, let's be honest, The Rock has fought with The Undertaker many times over the years. How does he not realize after all this time that the dead man appears in the ring and most likely behind him? Was he expecting The Undertaker to walk down the aisle taking a sweet-ass time? Even The Undertaker would say, screw that, we're in a war here. What led to the long-awaited downfall of Roman Reigns was his decision to either hit Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins with a chair, and he picked the wrong decision. A memory of betrayal from 10 years ago is what cost the tribal chief everything he's ever worked for. Some things just never get forgiven, no matter how much time has passed. Roman got his revenge on Seth for betraying him and Dean Ambrose 10 years ago, but Seth still gets the last laugh in the end with that sacrifice. This is so fucking emotional. You gotta love the irony of this moment. This is the literal 3rd times the charm sequence because Cody tried to hit the triple crossroads maneuver 3 times in this match. The first occasion, he hits one before Jimmy Uso steps in. The second time, he hits 2 before Solo Sikoa steps in. And now the 3rd time, he successfully hits all 3 and wins the match. That was absolutely perfect for them to do. Also, I'm taking another sin off because I like that Cody Rhodes struggled and shook uncontrollably as if he didn't have enough strength left to hit that last crossroads on Roman Reigns, but remembered all that he's fighting for, which was enough for him to pull through and finish the match.
I'm giving this 1,000 fucking cents. At least wait for Roman Reigns to enter before you ring the freaking bell. Roman is the best heel in wrestling right now. Yeah, I said it. With all due respect, the heel wrestler using interference to win tactic only works if said heel wrestler can't actually get the job done. It's Roman Reigns! That's it, here's an additional 50 cents. Jey Uso has gotten himself involved with Roman's matches 1 time too many.
I thought Roman Reigns unified the titles, not win both as a double champion with 2 separate titles. Just when it seemed like Roman could actually get the job done without the need of interference, here comes yet another one. And victory due to outside interference is always a sin.
Seriously, this is WrestleMania. At least have Roman retain it some other bullshit way instead of the same bullshit way. This deserves 100,000 sins for a really bad copy-paste ending.